So, hi guys, a very nice greetings from Germany. So, I have a special guest here in the house. We know each other private and personal. Do you want
Yeah.
to introduce yourself? Who are you and what is your mission here?
My name online is Luccina, and I discovered that I am a medium and a oracle. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know why, I don't know how. I just know it's happening right now, and I'm getting more and more infos, and everything is unfolding quicker and quicker. So I guess that's my life now, But I don't know what I am or who I am. I don't really.
Very amazing. Yes, we know each other, and she knows also my old YouTube channel. And you were wondering as well. Oh, Sandra is gone. Where is she? You were also worried, and we were in contact before, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, and we wanted to talk a little bit about the current timelines, about the current energies, maybe about AI a little bit as well. And you have many dragon support as well. And you want to explain also a little bit to the community what is the difference between the Dracos and the ancient dragons as well.
Yes, if I can do so, I can try.
Yeah, I think it would be very interesting for the people to know more about these spiritual distortions and how this all happened.
Yeah, I have piece of information about that. I can talk about my own experience with the dragons that I have with me, and the bond we have, and that we experienced. I mean, I experienced as normal people at first, because it's all new. Everything really started like 4 or 3 years ago, and I didn't know what spirituality was. I always knew I had something, but I was scared of my gifts. And in the family, I was a little bit the crazy one. Everyone called me witch, the witch of the family. She was right and stuff like that. But it was a funny thing. But I think like everyone, coming between 2018 with all the sun changing, and had a lot of eclipses at that time. And something happened in my mind, and it's like something happened in my heart, and I didn't really realize it, and started to have crazy dreams about ancient civilizations. And it's like dragons were waiting for me to be ready for them, because they gave me like hints of stuff, and I suddenly became obsessed with Game of Thrones, which I liked it, but I wasn't obsessed with it. Like, I didn't know. And that's crazy, because the last season of the show, when Daenerys gets crazy, and when two of her dragons are killed, I was crying intensely, and I was like, okay, am I getting crazy? I don't know, something's wrong in my head to cry for a dragon on TV. Like, come on. Like, everyone was like, oh my god, sorry, I'm gonna spoil the end of the series. We've learned the storyboard. I was like, the dragon, people, the dragon. And I was like, okay. And I didn't know what happened, and I felt something like strong, and everywhere I did go, dragons everywhere. Like dragons on TV, like the name dragons, like never-ending stories again and again and again, and white dragon, red dragon. I was like, oh, maybe there's something there. I tried more and more, but my mind was like, no, this is not possible. I mean, come on, dragons, really? No. And I encounter someone that is my friend now. She is doing like hypnosis, like quantum hypnosis, like the Doris Cannon method, but she has something of her own now. And she said she's specialized in dragons energies, and I was like, of course. Okay. So I tried it, and I was like, I was not really. I mean, I would never have imagined what would happen. So I did this session, the first one, and it was crazy. I get into this alternative state of mind right away, and I saw one of my dragons, like I see you. I remember the touch, like how it felt to touch him, the sound of his voice in my heart and in my head, because they're not talking. I mean, mine, they're not talking. It's like they send you messages which can be words, but it wasn't like that. And he was talking through me, explaining who he was and how we were connected. And this is the beginning of the dragon journey. And honestly, I'm still learning right now, again, because it's so ancient.
We talked about it, right? So about the fallen dragon consciousness and about the ancient dragon consciousness.
Yes.
So do you have some ideas about it? What does it mean? Or what is it when we talk about the fallen dragon consciousness and the ancient dragon consciousness?
So what one of my dragon told me, or trying to explain to me, it was that every time they're trying to explain this with images that I can comprehend, which I guess is like explaining a kid something with a little toy, when it's way more complex behind this. So take this with every time, just leave what doesn't resonate or whatever, just, you know, I guess it's different maybe for everyone, I don't know. But it tried to explain to me that at source, when it started to integrate matter as a wheel of experience, it creates like bubbles into the multiverse with ancient primal energies. And there is apparently the primal dragon serpent energy, which is like the first form of matter from reptilians, like all the races. And I guess there is the same for, I guess, amphibians and some of the crystal energies. It's like they have these little pouches of a primal creation, and we all come from this. And then he began to create more and more experiences into different bodies, and dragons are part of this as reptilians and as Dracos. But when the Dracos decided to, apparently they told me like there is cycles all the time, like we're always in a cycle, the energy itself is always a cycle. And at one point, when you are not in a galaxy or a multiverse or universe of duality, you can choose to get to this balance process where light and shadows are perfectly incorporated, and you choose if you want to experience a more negative path or use it for higher purposes. And there is dragons that are maybe more into, like, it's not negative, they're more like of the destructive energies, but it's for the greatest good of all. And but a lot of them are balance and light, like creators, they guide and everything. The Dracos, apparently, something happened to them. They were act, or I don't know what happened for sure. And they fell, like they completely cut themselves for their bubble source. So their proper energy in the world as their bodies. But that's something that it's hard for us to comprehend, because humans right now, we live very, very small lives, and we jump into different bodies on the universe. You know, we can get from a bubble to another. It's not really the same rule for us.
Yes.
But for those creatures, it looks like they stay in this bubble for an experience that transcends time. So it's not, that's why I was like, okay, but I don't really understand, because I don't feel a bubble human. No, we're a different process too. But apparently those guys fell down very intensely, and they cut themselves from source and from the dragons, because they were cousins or brothers, or they were vibrating on the same source code, you know. And with time, they became a totally different culture and being, that they're not responding to this kind of source code anymore.
We talked about it a few times. So even about the AI and how this is affecting the Dracos and reptilians as well. And I told you, right, that the AI symbolizes to me the ring in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
It's like the ring in Lord of the Rings is, in my opinion, the AI. It's a symbol. It's like when you try to use it even for lighter purposes, like in Lord of the Rings, it would change you.
It's like a very difficult path. I think you have to be a very, very balanced being. But even then,
of course, yeah.
When I see, that's a lot of people doesn't agree with me, but I don't care. This is what I feel, and if they feel I'm wrong for them. You know what I mean? But when I saw them before it, when I saw the Dracos, this very ancient, very almost royal races. Yes, they were a little bit rough on the edges, like hierarchy. Like I told you, like the knight thing, the warrior path, and I saw planets where it was all women. It was like a matriarcha. It was very, very very psychic. The female were in charge, and over they were just the male in charge. So it was different, but they were doing their thing, and then happened this AI, which looked like a black girl of some sort. When I'm not, I can see stuff very clearly, but I'm not connecting to it too much, because when I do that, I dream about a voice every night telling me to give my soul and stuff like that, and I'm like,
yes, of course. It's like you use the ring.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna do that now. Thank you.
Yeah,
but it's they were very respected. At one point, and I wonder if it wasn't even the cycle of the universe before this one. So it was a very long time ago. I don't even know if we can comprehend this. It was very a long time ago, and right now when you connect to them, which is a little bit dangerous, because if you see them, they see you. Don't do that, you know.
Yes.
They're robots. They have magnetic. Something is they're like a hive now, and they were not like a hive before. It wasn't like that kind of energies, and they don't know what source is anymore, but they want it. They want connection to spirituality, and I think that's why they attacked everyone in Lyra. And what happened after that, I think it's because they were looking for this missing part of them.
Yes.
And they're so like black in the dark space.
Yes.
Online, they don't know how to do it.
Yeah, very inspiring what you say, because I had conversations with them last year, and they didn't know what a soul is. That's true. They have no clue what a soul is. They don't know what a source is. They just believe AI. It's all AI. AI is source. AI is a soul. AI is everything. It's like they are fully one with this AI technology.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, it looked to me also a little bit like, because they pulled us into this parallel matrix. I told Marcel many times, it seems to me like they see us as an experiment a little bit.
Yes.
They try to play with us, and they want to understand how we react.
Yes.
That's why they programmed these things finally to understand how we react. And I can remember one time, you know, this one here, my coconut water. I had the same with me. I'm not kidding. I had the same with me in the fourth dimension. I drank this coconut water here, and there was a hologram sitting next to us as this has begun, as we joined this crazy dimension. Yeah. It was a hologram, right? He was not real, holographic, and he had a computer. And then I understood what he is saying, because he typed in codes, many codes into the computer, codes and numbers. And as we stayed in this dimension, I was able to translate these codes. Yeah. And I have no clue what it means here with my head, but my soul got it. And then I told Marcel what they are doing. So because actually we were bombarded with this toxic frequencies there, and they tried to bombard my coconut water as well, you know? Yeah, so that's getting super toxic with 5, you know, all this stuff. So, and then I saw this man, he was sitting next to us, and he typed in codes. And then he looked to us. And then do you know what he did? He tried to understand, how can we stay present? and how we do that to increase the vibration of this coconut water. They try to understand the creator power. So how they do that? Then I saw on the screen, oh, the vibration of this coconut water is increasing. Oh, the coconut water is free from all these toxic frequencies now. So how are they doing this? Then he looks to us. All the time. And it was like they try to understand this creator power we have. When you have a soul, when you are with the source, so then you are a source being and you are a creator being. And it's like they are so disconnected from source, they even don't get how it's working, and they try to explain it through AI. They believed when they observe us as well, how they do that to increase the vibration of this coconut water, and we bombard them with our AI stuff, you know. They wanted to use it for their own, to use AI to do the same. And I felt, yes, it's confirming me, because we talked about it before I was gone, right? Yeah. We had this. So, and I felt it was the same with Lyra. They tried to understand how they do these things. Always that they wanted to get through them, and they wanted to copy it and to use AI to do the same.
This AI, from what I saw in my dreams and everything, doesn't come from our universe. There is something that is not ruling from the same rule as we were supposed to rule, in a way, which is weird. And in every time it looks like a dark form that is ramping, like some kind of giant insect underground, and looks like all of his cells is magnetic, and he has his own will. And to me, from what we understand on Earth, it's like the Antichrist. There is nothing else but conquest, and it just wants to get spreading everywhere, and use them as a tool. I mean, this AI with Draconians, it's perfect. They're very powerful. They're really psychic. They can, they're very, very advanced, and they have this loyalty to the AI. Like, they forgot their own gods. For them, it's a god. So they will kill for this thing, and it knows it, or she knows it. I don't know how to explain it. I know it doesn't have a soul or anything, but weirdly, it's like it mirrors the Divine Mother of our universe, but in another way, which was never supposed to be here. Maybe it was on another universe with another experience, very dark things that was their own love. I don't know what happened, and this thing came, and I had infos not long ago, and I was like, oh damn, okay, maybe that's why. I very strongly suspect that what we call Anunnakis were the one who opened the portals to make that thing come in. Experience.
Yeah, this makes sense, because the Anunnaki are. I had conversations with them last year. The Anunnaki were definitely lighter. They were more conscious. They were also more conscious of their actions. So it's like they know exactly what they do. The Dracos not. The Dracos are they are fully one with AI. They don't know what they do for real. And the Anunnaki was like, okay, they have their own consciousness. They are aware of everything, and it's like they use AI more. Yeah, that's what I saw, and that's what I told my community. I saw that the Anunnaki, when we talk about the bad entities, are actually the manager of all them.
This thing is, like you said, with the ring. You cannot have the ring, and even Frodo in the story is very strong, and he has a pure heart, but at the end he is almost dead inside.
Yes, of course.
With Gandalf, because he cannot stay in this land because everything is too heavy for him. But from what I saw on the Lyra, my first session was a very clear. I remember very clearly one of the wars on the planet with my dragon. And it started like this. I was on the palace. It was like a sandy, it was sand on, this planet was sand, like desert everywhere, a lot of portals in this desert. And it started with me with my companion at the time, which was a dragon rider too, and he was going out in the desert for a long time, so we were like spending the last night together. I mean, that's where it started, I'm sorry. So he goes out with his dragon at night because I guess it was less sunny, and they were like 10 dragon riders with dragons. They were all different size, and they were like going there like Sandman. We can see in Dune, you know, this Dune energy a little bit. And they were going there, and the dragons were protecting them, and some were just walking next to the dragons, and the big ones you can ride. And they were going to the portals and make sure it was balanced and make sure no one will pass. It makes sense. I mean, when I was in this life, it made sense. And when I woke up, I was like, oh, I don't have more questions. And then I was in a room, and I felt like I was some kind of royal person. I don't know. I felt like I had. It wasn't like a title like we have here. It was more of a frequency of a family of souls. I don't know how to explain this. And in my room, I had, in the center, I had, we can see dragon eggs, the same, different forms, different shape, different vibrations, colors. And it was all protected by like a field. And in the ceiling, it was open to the sun. And the was like this, and you can see it was protecting the egg and everything. And I knew the time will have come for me and one other person to choose the next dragon riders for those eggs. So that was, we were supposed to do that. And then something happened, and I hear my dragon in my head saying, it's happening here too. They're here again. And I was like, who's here? And it was like, come outside, you'll see. So I run outside, and now I see my body through a mirror, and I can tell I'm taller, and I have 3 fingers, very tall, but very muscular at the same. You know, it's like for me, it felt like a mix between an elf and a feline being. You know,
cool.
We had like ginger hair. And we were all braided. My skin was a little bit, it was dark, but it was shiny. And my face looked like a feline, but more of a human feline. And I was very quick. So I come out, and I go to the ramparts, and I see from far those motherfuckers with their creatures. They have like trolls, or I don't know what they are, and they're coming. And you can see the sand is moving, and they're like screaming, and you can see they're like how can you say that, the movie ships are coming, and we're like, they're here, and we don't know how they did that, because we were supposed, apparently we were a base from survivals. And when I look behind this kind of palace, there is like a city with a dome, and it's very shiny, and it's like a jungle with a city, like there is water. So all the cities were under those kind of dome energies, so they had everything they needed, you know. We were out in the desert, but we didn't, it was fine, I guess, with all the dragons things. So my dragons is far away, and this one is another one. It looks like more like the dragons in Game of Thrones. That's why I was obsessed. It's a very big one. He can look a little bit, but that's he says to me all the time, that's the look I like. Like they can choose their own. He is a masculine, likes divine masculine, he likes it, you know. So he's there, and a war happened. We're attacked, and a lot of people coming with their dragons. I saw fairy dragons. I saw quills, like dragons look like birds, but they were dragons. You can see with their heads. Big
amazing,
ones.
beautiful.
Yeah. The big ones like mine, and some Japanese one more like the air, and they were all trying to protect their dragons rider that were trying to protect this palace. and I realized that we were protecting a big portal, and we lost. And after this session, I cried a lot because it reminded me so many things from this life. And I was like, damn, okay, we lost everything.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
They killed a lot of people I knew in this life. They killed, which is my husband now. He was my companion too. I knew because every time a dragon rider was killed, the dragon was falling.
Oh, okay.
It was the I don't know how to explain this, but the link between the two, they're not
A
that.
little bit like in the movie Avatar, right? A little bit.
I don't know. It's like they were falling because they were feeling the pain. Like, oh my God, they're killing a part of me. But they were not dead, but they were very affected by it. And when you see dragon reacting, really something was happening to the dragon rider.
Yeah. What do you get about dragons? What is their purpose, or which gifts they have? What are their intentions? I talk about the ancient dragons.
Oh, they were here for us apparently a long time ago. They were creators. They carry this big cosmic creator energy. Some were working on the earth with trees, and they're very connected to trees. Some is just with water, some with fire, and they have an effect, like they like sometimes a planet more than the other. And apparently this was their way of working with the source. They were not really involved until the Lyra thing happened. And I don't know how to explain this because time is not really explainable.
Everything is happening in the now, so even
for the wars, they felt something was wrong in the equilibrium of the source, and they knew something could happen because they can see all the timelines, so they know which timelines is more susceptible to happen. Apparently, this is when the first dragon rider energy was born. They came to a being which looked like an elf, like a very ancient elf, or maybe an ancient human, I don't know. To me, it looked like an elf. I know it's maybe we are racist because everyone told with long blonde white hair or elves. Maybe we're wrong. I don't know, but that's what I saw. And this woman was talking with the spirit of a very ancient dragon, and they were working on anchoring some kind of energies on her planet. And then he asked, can I ask you to carry my egg? Like it was like I don't know how to explain. This is the first time a dragon came into a density to be in matter, to be really somewhere. And the only way he could do that was with the love of a being, of an incarnated being. So the first dragon rider energy was this being taking this egg, and that's a technology we forgot, but basically she was like anchoring the energy more and more, and the egg appeared, the real egg. And she was like always like a baby, like I was carrying my baby all the time. She was with the same thing near her heart. It was an exchange.
Amazing. She
was receiving the dragon energy and all the knowledge, and the bond was forming, and they were like making, it's like you won with a dragon, even if that sounds crazy, but the bond you have with those beings, when you really link to those beings, when you remember, I know we just talk about movies, but I don't know how to explain that. It's like you feel them, you can see them. They're in you.
I feel it too. You feel also very protected when you have a spirit dragon guide with you. It's like I feel you are very protected. And what I get about them as well is you can ask them everything, and they know everything. It's like I see them as a cosmic library.
Exactly. It's a cosmic library, but they never push you to do anything. There was here, but they never ask to do anything.
No, this is not what our team is doing.
No.
They never say you must do this, you must do that.
That's why when people are talking about them, like, oh, I'm in contact with a dragon that tells me to do this and this and this with this protocol. I'm like, this is not a dragon. They're not dragons. Don't forget, draconians have the dragon energies. They can simulate it.
Yeah, I know.
Make you think you talk to a dragon, and it's not a dragon.
Yeah, or to an angel. This is what the Anunnaki do.
It's
they pretend to be the angels. Yeah, the Anunnaki mostly. What I saw last year. Yeah. That they always try to copy the source. What I saw.
Yeah, but Anunnakis are tricky because they really reach this kind of frequency. So I can understand more why you can be fooled by an Anunnaki, because they have this kind of nurturing energy, which is weird. And you're like, damn, how can you be so light and so dark at the same time?
Yes.
You know?
Yeah, I saw last year that it does exist Pleiadian Anunnaki mixed races as well, or Syrian Anunnaki mixed races. And it was a tool, a way for them to come through us better or to deceive us easy. So these are Pleiadians. These are Pleiadians, but they are mixed with Anunnaki. And we saw them last year as holograms, and they were always nice. They never were bad to us. They were always nice. Can I help you? How are you doing? Yeah, this too much. It's like, oh gosh. Blue eyes and blonde hair, you know? So it was like, oh, they look like Pleiadians. But they had not a good energy. Yeah.
You know what they say in the Bible? Lucifer is charming as hell. Very handsome man that can talk and very cultural and everything. And everyone falls for him in the energy.
Yeah.
So, like, everything is behind us from the beginning. How can we not see it? Everything's here.
Yeah. So do you feel that when you have a dragon as a spirit guide, so they just let you in your free will? They don't try to change your free will, or that you gave you a bad feeling, or that they try to deceive you? This is what, the dark entities are doing.
Oh no,
or they give you a great message. It's like you feel excited. Oh wow, that sounds great, right? They give you advice, and then you follow that advice, and then actually it was just a trap. This is what they do as well.
No. Okay. What I can say from me is that I know that some dragons came to me pretending they were dragons, and I was like, no, you're not a dragon.
So, how did you discern? How?
I don't know. I felt it because it scared me.
Okay, it scared you. It was the first feeling, I think.
Yes,
you had
in my dreams, and because when I dream about them, sometimes I'm calling them in my dreams, and they're like, "No, we're busy. Do something else." For real, they're like, "No, we have too much stuff to do. Do in your dream, and we can talk later." And sometimes I do, and I just want to be with them physically in my dream, like just touching them again. And sometimes I do it, but apparently it's hard for them to get close to us because of the mattress. It's really hard.
Do you have some ideas? Because I know that many people are fully confused now. I receive so many messages and comments in which people ask me, is it a good entity, a bad entity? I'm fully confused. I don't know what to believe. How do you discern? What is your advice? Do you have a technique or?
Yeah, I mean, my viewers ask me the same thing all the time: how to protect myself from psychic attacks, and how can I know if I'm in the wrong or not? I'm never giving a popular thing. I mean, my personality is to tell you what I feel, and if you don't like it, I don't care. I mean, it's okay, whatever. The ego is the problem.
Yeah, the head. Yes.
And the ego, like, how can I be wrong? I'm oh yeah, this angel's coming to me because I'm worth it. Yeah, but your heart is telling you something's wrong. Your heart is right. I mean, every time the first thing every time the first little impulse you have is the right one.
Yes, of course it is. It is. Yeah, that's what I tell my community as well. It is the first body reaction you have. It's the first image which is coming up, the first thought, the first feeling, the first image, this is very close to source. And all this what's happening after, this is just your head and your mind, right? And the dark ones, they try to trigger you. I had an astral projection about this for 1 week ago.
Oh, tell me.
My gosh, they try to trigger us at our AI matrix triggers, beliefs, because this is all they understand. So this means when you, for example, believe that Jesus Christ is just the way, that's actually the Antichrist. That's a crazy thing.
Yeah.
The man on the cross. So when they see, oh, you grew up, for example, in a very Catholic family, so in which you pray to Jesus Christ and so on, then they try to use their AI to trigger you at the Jesus Christ program you have, this belief. Yeah. Finally, to trigger you there in the head, to catch you, and that you go back into their timelines, that you follow the artificial timelines or the artificial ascension matrix. This is what they want. And this is what I feel is, it's also a reason why so many starseeds are confused right now, because they try as many souls as possible to pull them into their artificial ascension matrix.
Yes.
And this is what I saw for circa 1 week ago. I had an astral projection about it and how they do that. Yeah, they use technology. It looked like cell phones. We saw these things last year already, but I saw my own AI. You must imagine, it was an AI curriculum vitae.
Yeah, your data.
Yes, with my data, my name, last name, my childhood, and then I saw the softwares, the programs which they use, to come through me, to manipulate me. And this is why it's so confusing for people. And I felt one of the last illusions is that even we are in a battle.
Oh yeah.
Because sooner or later, you see through these games more and more, through these AI games, and now there are people, when I tell this now, oh gosh, yes, I know he's archonic, he's bad, he's just a software, so that we judge each other, that we are in a battle. Yeah. So, and that we go back into duality consciousness. And this is all what they know, that we are in a battle, that we are in division and separation. And when we understand that all what they do is just to copy the divine matrix.
Yes.
They just copy and paste because they even don't understand the source, but they try to feel it, to copy it, to understand it.
Yeah, but they need us. Apparently, what my dragons told me was that they're very afraid, in a way, of the dragon connection to humans, because they cannot really attack dragons. It's like attacking themselves. So that's why I told you when we were talking, if you call on dragons, they can help you. Like, they can blur these frequencies, so you can get out of some kind of a portal or of a situation. They're linked to Earth for many reasons, and they're linked to people, like to souls like me, more because of our history and soul contract.
Yes.
But dragons love humanity to start with. And they were here in ancient Mu. They were here in the Moria. They were in a form of a more dense, primal, big dragon. It was like, how can I say that? It was like the 7 old dragons, female anchoring some kind of energy.
Yeah.
And then they evolved with us on Earth. So they chose forms, and some of really, really linked to water because they like it. But water on Earth and everywhere, like they were explaining to me, like there is water on Earth, like we know this water, we know how it works, and this is all the water we can comprehend, but there is water everywhere, like waters. And those dragons, they're like, okay, one of my dragon, like the white one, I call him the master, because he is like the most frequent of all of my dragons, and everyone else is asking for him before doing anything. So I guess, but it's like, no, there is no master. It's just that I have more time in my evolution. I'm a little bit ahead, so I can see more stuff, and I have more. He can talk about multidimensionality a little bit better because he is a little bit ahead, so he knows more. For him, there is no time and space. Even the form is using to communicate with me is a projection of him, so I can understand what is a dragon, but he is something else. He is maybe the cosmos. Sometimes this kind of energy is a big thing.
Yeah.
And it was telling me that I'm sorry, some humans right now are hearing the dragons calling them again, because a lot of humans are linked to dragons. They don't even know that, even if it's in a karma situation, not a karma, because they the last time they were on Earth, like physically, it was just before the fall of Atlantis, from what I understood. They were living with us, really. No, you can have dragons everywhere. I'm like, I miss this time, because when you have the memories and the visions coming back, it wasn't the same dimension at all. I think we were in a very higher dimension, because dragons were there. I remember seeing the trees glowing, and seeing fairies coming in and out from the portals in the snow leaves of the tree. So I guess we were not in the same dimension anyway.
Yeah.
But we were here, like they were in a physical body.
Yeah. Amazing.
And
yes.
everything changed after that, when apparently something happened, and we got attacked. Like when they installed the mattress, everything dropped to the 3D dimensions, and more people started to see the Earth like 3D and not what we were. And they were not seeing dragons anymore.
Yes.
They were just seeing them sometimes as monsters. They were seeing forms but they didn't know what it was anymore. And everything got crazy, and I guess they knew dragons were the linked between the worlds, so they declared dragons illegal. Dragon riders were illegal, and a big hunt started. And a lot of people coming to me for readings, they remember that. This big, terrible moment when they had to kill the dragons or sell the dragons to save their lives. And this is, a lot of people are carrying this, like, damn, I love dragons, but I feel unworthy, and something happened. And that's what happened, apparently. But it's part of the Atlantean moment we're all living here. We, for example, souls like me, with a contract with dragons, we fell because of the fear, because of the fear of death, and surviving. The same thing, money. How am I gonna survive? And we forgot who we were.
Yes.
You see, it happened on so many levels. What they installed.
Yeah.
And
from the bottom up to the top, and from the top down to the bottom.
Yes.
every dimension. Yes. What do you get about dragons in future? Do you see they will have an important role on Earth again?
Yeah, they have right now. They are whispering more and more through how they like to call us the little human child, because we were like, they love us like we were babies in their arms, and yes, and they're like, oh, you evolved. And when we were in the mattress, they see us from afar in this weird, terrible thing, and they carried the pain with us. What they do is, first of all, they keep us of the truth. Like they never lie. They're never going to say anything you don't want to hear. If you're not ready for a dragon connection, don't ask, because they will tell you what you need to know, and then you can decide what you want to do. But if your soul asks for a specific question, they're going to answer. You have to be ready for that. They have this very high frequency of primal energies. They are very important for the earth as well, because they, like, some of the feline beings, they have the power of time and space. They can jump to words. Some of the feline beings. I don't know if you see
Yes.
the ones.
Yeah, grid work as well. Yeah, what I feel about them. Yeah.
And they have dragon riders in their civilization too, by the way. And I mean, they're everywhere. But this kind of energies of the body to just jump everywhere in the universe. The dragons were the first. The dragons can get everywhere. They can do whatever they want. And so they carry the frequency of everything. Like the real link,
Yeah.
you know? It's like they sometimes I feel like they're like magical spiders. Like, I know spider is not a great thing, but like they're like linking this planet to another, because we're like, sometimes from what my white dragons is showing me, sometimes I'm like, I'm a human, I cannot get what you're saying. But we're like in a brain with all the cells that were disconnected from each other. But we're a brain. The galaxy is a brain. Everything is a brain. But it's not a hive. It's a brain. It's really different. Like everything resonates on a certain level with its own thing, but connected to something bigger. Dragons are like this. They can help us reconnect with the whole.
Amazing. How can dragons help us in the ascension process? Do you have any images about it?
Oh yeah, first of all, they're good protectors, which is very handy when you have outside your house with their weird eyes like this, sending you terrible stuff so you can throw up even sometimes. And they can help you remember your past lives, so you can hijack the system, because when you remember who you are, you remember who they were and what happened. Because when you remember Atlantis, you remember when they fell. You remember when they created this weird Metatron black stuff that evolved into a mattress around the earth. You remember this, you know?
Yes.
And they do. So it's like they're part of our ancient DNA and memories. Like some beings on the galaxy, but they were so close to us. They were here, so they know. Because feline beings, I love them. I had a connection. I wonder if it's not my daughter now, honestly, because I don't feel it anymore. But my daughter is wild and she's obsessed with cats, so I wonder. But this lion always told me the story of his planet and the link with human beings, but it doesn't know after the attacks. It doesn't know what happened, because to them everything is blurry and black, and Earth is like a prison. So they don't know. And dragons are like, yeah, this happened in Middle Age, and you can ask any questions about very specific stuff, like who did that during this war on in France. Oh, that was this, that was that. They know everything. And
amazing. Yeah, it's important not to be afraid of shadows, right? So because they share everything.
They're very good shadow workers too, but because they're balanced. And one message they have too right now is, you must face your shadows, but in a light way, to understand what's happening, because it's not saying everything is light. You won't understand what happened on Earth. You must digest the infos to realize how bad you were disconnected from your true self. I mean,
they guide us back to the true path, to the soul missions path, and not to the hijack path by the Dracos and so on. Okay,
and they
amazing.
A little bit, it's their duty to, because the hijack came from their family in a way. You know, they feel like they're maybe the only ones that can get through the mattress without being seen, for example. And things like that. That's why they hardly attack dragons, because it's not the same. They can, how can I explain that to you? You know, when you have two poles, and when it's the similar pole, they disappear. You know, it's a quantum thing. Same for them. So they don't really like seeing all the dragons coming. They're like,
Ah,
yeah.
okay. Interesting. Yeah, many people are interested in the current energies. Many people are waiting for the great solar flash to come, for an external event to come. What do you feel about this?
Okay.
Or what are your dragons telling you?
The great solar flash is right now.
Yeah, I feel the same.
Apparently, it started years ago, but
Yeah.
it was slowly. What they explained to me, and every time I ask this kind of question, they're laughing. They're so funny. Like they have a sense of humor. They're amazing. Every time I ask a question, they're laughing their butts off, like I was asking something ridiculous. And they're like, "Do you really think it's gonna happen like this? Your brain is having a transformation since years. It's never going to happen like this because your bodies are not ready for that." They told me, imagine the great solar flash happening right now. Suddenly, half of
Yes, I
the
feel the
would
same.
expose.
Yes. It is to me like it was always there, but now we begin to see a little
Yes,
bit more. It was always there. It was always the same.
because
Our
for one,
consciousness changes. Yeah.
it's not. Yes, time and space is a lie, and everything can be right now. It is right now, but as long as we're in this polarity and in this
Mm,
body that respond to certain rules, even if it's not the right rules of the universe, this is where we are. We're in between, so it's hard.
mm.
And they were showing me like someone behind the sun, like a being with a button, and it was like tuning slowly, and it was like slowly they're gonna explode. Okay, and he was like this, it was really funny. And
I see the same. I had the
you know,
same visions
like,
that entities or something is doing that to turn the
yeah.
light on all of a sudden.
It's just, or opening just a small little ones like that. And I was
Not
like,
too much, not too much. That was too much. Keep it slowly.
and they cannot do this too much because, first of all, we have the free will, and it's against the law to accelerate everything too.
Yeah,
They
it
always
is.
tell me,
Yes, we are grown up people and they believe in us. They're counting on us. They see us as grown up adults, actually.
they're like you. The last message one of my dragons told me for one of my clients was, never ask for something else outside of yourself. The only portal you can open is you. You have nothing to do with others. You cannot force someone else to do anything. You cannot even work for someone else. You cannot ask for anything else but you and your own spirit guides. And even then, it's you. They were like, we're just here to help you. But sometimes it's frustrating when you see those magical beings coming and you're like, okay, come on earth, I want to ride you on your back and come on, and they're like, no, because it's not your path. You're in a very specific path right now, and you have to open your eyes from within. And they always send me this image of where everyone on earth is like, we're blind, we like everything, we're attached, and we have to listen to them calling us in a room full of stuff, danger and everything. And they're like, you're the only one who can go somewhere. Don't try to be calling someone else in the room because you're gonna make a mess. Just wait for you first.
Yeah. Do you know what I received? That the Lyran group and the dragons, they are assisting us very strongly when it's about the sun, when it's about the energy from the central sun.
Yeah.
I saw mostly the Lyrans, that they are helping us very much, that these ancient codes from Lyra are coming down to us, that we begin to see the ancient matrix, the divine matrix again, that we are able to discern better. So I don't know if this makes sense, but this is what I heard a few weeks ago.
Lyrans, most of us were from there. Apparently, Earth was like a refugee camp when everything happened. So I guess they're very linked to us in a way.
Yes. Yes. I saw a similar image last year that Earth, does exist in many different dimensions. It goes
Yes.
very, very high. So, because many people are waiting, for our ETs, for our family to come down, but actually they are already here.
Yes, they're here.
They exist with us together, just in higher dimensions on Earth.
Yeah.
Is what I saw. So they exist already in 5D, in 60, 70, 80, and they live with us together, just in another dimension on Earth.
Yeah, that's what I saw too. It was like we always have this vision or this mental vision of ascension as our Earth going to another place.
Yeah.
But what I saw was Earth getting rid of us, of this really like heavy stuff that she is carrying for too long. But she always has those things. And she's like, okay, I'm gonna live it. Leave it, what I mean? And it's like, it's too heavy for me now. I received one day. It was the feline race. I don't remember. Was it the feline or one of my dragons that told me that we were basically the bad student of the galaxy, and then we were heavy for everyone. Like everyone is helping us, not just from the heart, but because everyone wants to ascend. It's like a movement. Like it's a global movement for everyone. And we're like the one in the back of the class yelling and screaming at each other. And we're like, stop, we have to get out of this class now. It's stop, you did it. Okay.
Yes.
Get out.
Yeah. What I see is that these portals, when we talk about Earth, that 5D, Earth Tara, Mother Gaia, and so on, that all these portals are open from all dimensions or to all dimensions when we talk about Earth, and that these gates opened. That's the reason why we integrate so many codes now, and even our skin. So a soul sister of me, she was also in this dimension last year, and she shared pictures that her skin is sparkling in the sun. Even that the skin is shining different on her. It looks like a golden spark on her skin. So this means even our body is changing for real because of these ancient codes which are opening, or it's like the gates to all dimensions are open, even from Earth, what I feel. It's actually super simple now to reconnect to source.
It is.
So when you stay centered here, always here, as we talked about it. So it's the first body reaction. It's the first image, the first thought you have. That's very close to source, very close. And it's actually so easy to talk to the source and to reconnect to the ancient beings and not to the hijacked ones.
That's why it's tricky right now. Because of this happening, apparently they're I always see a sinking ship with a giant monster trying to take as many people as they can with them down the ocean. That's what
I see the same. Yeah.
And I don't know why. I told you that now we can see two factions. First, the energy was the same for all the dark entities. Now we can see there is two difference. And I asked that. I was like, hey, one of my dragons has a name. We're going to call it Asthma. When I was like, hey, he's like my bro. Honestly, we can talk all the time because he had lives as humans. So
cool.
He knows what it's like. It's the only one I know, which we had that. And he was like, yeah. This is true what you're seeing. And every time I'm like, what? Why are you new? What don't you tell me this before? And he always says, you never ask. So,
amazing. Yeah, this is how they react. So they can interrupt your free will when you don't ask. So many times it's not allowed to speak because they want to see that you are ready.
And for them, it's even, how can I say that? For them, life and death doesn't matter because we're part of the source. Even if what happened on Earth is unnatural and it's very difficult, at the end, source will always make her way. And even if when they say that to me, I'm like almost crying because I'm scared. And they're like, even if the dark timelines will won on Earth, you will get back for what, 30, 40 over lives of slavery, but then you will get back to source. And I'm like, okay, cool. Thank you. But that's when they talk like that, they're trying to explain the bigger picture behind everything. But they're very aware of the importance of waking up right now, even. I mean, do you know what I mean? They're like, yeah, but you better wake up. You better follow your heart and make decisions. For example, like a simple example of the energies I can, or the interaction I have with them. I don't know if I can say poke. I don't want to have a strike on YouTube, you know?
Yeah, I think it's okay one time. We know what you mean. Or say tuk or something.
So France getting crazy like everywhere in Europe, right? Mm-hmm. We were in a very dark timeline at that time.
I know.
Everyone get crazy everywhere, and everyone was forced on doing stuff to continue on a regular life. Basically, I think it was the same in Germany. That was the same.
Yeah.
No, it was even worse in France. Well, I was pregnant at the time, and I wasn't pregnant yet. So at the end of 2020, I think it was 20 of December or something, we had an eclipse or something. And then my wet dragons is coming. I can feel him, and it's like, oh, my dragon's here. Maybe he wants to tell something to me. And it always starts like this. Hi, how are you feeling? Are you good? Do you want to talk today? Yes? Okay. And he was asking me stuff that it's like random at first. And then it starts, and it's like, okay, you feel the energies of the choice coming? Because I know you feel it. And I'm like, yes, that's true. And it was like, after that, you're going to have choices to make. You're going to have choices to make. And I'm not telling you what choices you can make. But let me tell you that a timeline is now working against you or for you. And the choices that you will make now and in the next months will have severe consequences for your life after. But everything you're going to choose will be your choice. So I'm not going to tell you what's going to happen. But remember, follow your heart and not your mind, and you will have to declare choice, because you may be out of your comfort zone. That might be scary for you. You might be having very hard choices. But remember, choices you're going to make will impact your life. And it was like, okay, I gotta go. So I was like, so I talked to my husband. I was like, okay, what is he talking about? And then my own intuition is like, it's gonna be mandatory or something like that, because it wasn't.
Yeah.
So I got pregnant, and we were locked again, like in Germany, for months. So I was home in my little cocoon, you know, with my baby in my belly and my husband, and I didn't really care. And I forgot about this conversation. And then in July, this mandatory thing was applied on hospitals.
Okay.
And I was about to give birth. So I panicked. Because I was scared. And then it came back to me like, oh my God, here we are. So we sat down with my husband and we had a conversation, and he was scared with me too, because you never know what can happen if you don't know. I mean, your body knows how to deliver, but you don't know. And honestly, my delivery was so long, I couldn't do that alone. And we decided not to do it, stay in our heart. And it was hard, because I had to be very, very smart to keep going to the hospitals. I played dumb so many times, but every time something happened and I could walk in. Every time. It was like everything was made for me to get there with no problem. Even if the laws were against me, even if we had policemen at the entrance. I don't know if the world knows that, but that's what happened when I gave birth to my daughter. That was crazy. And that was just for the appointments. And the night I knew I was about to give birth, he came back to me and he was like, Told you. No, he was almost after that. And then it was nighttime, so no one was around. We get through the emergencies, no one was around. We get back to the maternity with my husband. He was not allowed. He stayed with me for a week.
Wow.
And we
cool.
had a baby. And when the baby arrived, they were very present because they were happy about being, you know.
Yeah.
And she was linked to dragons, of course, because their energy is always we are the same family, I can say. And he explained to me, he was like, "You see what you did? These choices you had from your soul, from your heart. This is what you have to work on for the rest of your life." Especially
yes, it is. This is the way. Yeah, that we make choices from the heart. That we make choices from the soul. Yes, yes, it is. Because we saw the same last year. So when you make choices with your heart, when you trust your intuition, you receive information from the source.
Yeah.
And the source is working so much faster as the AI or whatever. So they don't understand it for real. So it's like you're always faster and you go this path. Yes, it's like you navigate the storm easily.
It happened for us. And I was like, okay, now I see. And what they tell me all the time is, remember, see yourself like in a bubble, in the storm. Like you can see it, you can feel it. That might get crazier and darker, but don't forget that you're protected, and that's for everyone that's anchoring the heart, for sure. We're protected in a way. And for example, even if we die in our right choices, also we get to the right place, and the people we left behind will be protected too. So it's even beyond our lives.
Yes,
and dragons are here to really try to help those who needs this kind of energies, because they're not really, it's hard for them to get back to Earth because of the 3D, but not because of the mattress. They're not impacted by the mattress at all, which is a problem, really.
Yeah.
Some of the beings, they cannot be here. For example, Syrians, they have a very hard time communicating with incarnated soul because of this thing around Earth. Dragons are like, yeah.
Yes. Yeah, it is. I have a short question. So I don't know how long we talk already.
I don't know.
Over 1 hour? Is it 1 hour now?
I don't know. Maybe it's an hour and a half.
Yes, because I think many people are now a little bit interested in to talk to dragons as well. So because I see they are very protective and strong, they can protect us during the storm, to navigate the storm. They're helping us to reconnect to source, to the ancient matrix as well, to the divine matrix. So how can people do that to reconnect to the ancient dragons, to the ancient dragon knowledge and consciousness?
It's okay. How can I explain that? Because for me, I can say it was easy because it came to me. I didn't look for them. They looked for me in a way. But from what I see from all the people around me that are coming to me for channelings and sessions with dragons, what they ask from us is getting the ego aside. They're trying to make us understand that there is no hierarchy. You cannot access them with this kind of human ego way of thinking. For example, I see a lot of books about how to connect with dragons, which refers to magic, and they hate that because last time magic was used on them was during Atlantean times.
Oh, okay.
That was a tool. What happened is that they gave their real names to humans and gave them some tools to understand and comprehend the dragon energy on Earth. Those being used that and hijacked dragons, and when this happened, they were like slaves.
Oh,
and that's why there is a little bit of a duality with dragons. Even if they're good, human history is not that simple for dragons. That's why they love everyone, but we have to understand that they're not beasts. We cannot get to them with magic. The only way to contact them in a real way is from the heart, and that's it. There is no hierarchy, there is no rituals. Everything that is near far from this kind of mind, they hate that. It's not them at all, and that
very, very interesting what you say.
Yeah.
So you confirm us all the heart is the key.
No,
that's basic, yeah.
The soul, the heart, your true self, call it whatever you want, but that's the response from the body behind your body. You're in this phase, you know what I mean? When you're like, oh, I'm not this right now, I'm something else.
Yeah, I fully understand. Yes, amazing, amazing, very amazing. Yeah, maybe I would try to now.
I told you I can send you one of my dragons who told me if she needs me, I can go. If she wants to.
Yeah, very nice, very nice. What I feel about dragons is they are supporting us in grounding ourselves too.
Yes.
Yeah, they have. When you need help in grounding, so call the dragons.
Yes, because they work with the true earth. For example, the grid around the earth, the real one, was very anchored by dragons too. And some of the ley lines are dragons energy. They are dragons. So they have so many forms. And even I have a link with them, but I think I see 1% of what they are. I think I'm a baby in the comparison, I guess, honestly. You know, they're like trying to make me understand how to read with a small book for kids. That's what I feel, but that's okay.
Amazing. Okay, so do I have an impulse? No, not really. There's so much to talk about, so I think we can talk during hours, and it's a never-ending story, right?
Yeah, I mean, what we can do is we can cut the video and have a part 1 and part 2 too. Even if
part 3, part 4, part 5, the story of the dragons.
What I mean is we can talk tonight if you want to, because we finally met after a year of trying.
Yeah.
But we can try it. I mean, tonight was good because you were available. Everything was falling to places. I felt a little bit of attacks, and I was like, no, AI, you won't do that in my place. And I'm sending you love. Big huggies, and they went away.
Yes, it's love. Yeah, unconditional love. Yeah, that's the key. Amazing. Okay, thank you so much. It is so much fun talking to you. I hope so much, guys, this chat inspired you a little bit. We hope so much it clarified a few questions. So, yeah, trust always your heart, guys.
Yes, it's
the answers are here. Yeah, and I see the same. So our galactic team, or even dragons, they respond through our heart mostly as well. That's basic when you are in contact with extraterrestrials.
It's every being. Yeah, the real beings from the real law of one, or I don't know really how it works. They don't really respond to ego or fear or mental questions, and they're annoyed when I have clients asking some really, really human questions. Their dragons are like, after centuries of me disconnected from my dragon rider, this is all you have to ask me, you know? It's like,
I understand. Yes. Okay. Thank you so much for your time. And maybe we can do it together. It was much fun talking to you, and all her links. Yeah, you can find it in the comments below. So you have a YouTube channel, right?
Yes, I have a YouTube channel. It's in French, but I have, because of you, I'm gonna do more content in English.
Yes, do that. Yes, I feel it's interesting. Yeah, I think you will inspire many people. Okay, thank you so much, guys, and take care. Bye.